How's it going, guys and gals? Today I was looking through one of my favorite categories on the trollpasta wiki, which is pasta trying to be good when it sucks enough to be a troll. Now what these are, if you're not familiar with these are, they are pastas that are trying to be good, but they suck enough to be on the same level as troll pasta, which troll pastas are intentionally terrible. So this is what a lot of people call a crappy pasta, a shit pasta. It sucks. All right, these are bad. I picked out a handful of some of these crappy pastas, and I decided to do a nice little crappy pasta compilation. I usually do troll pasta compilations, so I figured I'd mix it up, get some genuine efforts, and see what a terrible creepypasta is. A friend told me a rumor she heard about an unusual video on YouTube. Here is what she told me. I heard a story about a cursed video on YouTube. If you search for WPKEPKW, sometimes the video will show up. I tried searching for it, but I always get no results. I tried searching for it several times, but I wasn't able to find anything. I continued to hear more rumors about the video. Some people claimed that it was the video of someone just before they died on camera. Others said that it was a government experiment gone wrong, and that the person in the video was trying to confess something. All of the stories said that the video was cursed. I read that some people saw the video, but they said it only showed up once, so whenever I searched for it, I recorded my screen. I finally saw the video, but on the surface, it wasn't as scary as I thought. But for some reason, I was too scared to search for it again. I felt unsafe watching it. After watching, I went to his YouTube channel. I tried looking at the channel later, but I couldn't find it. Afterwards, I was on my computer, and that image kept appearing on my screen. I grabbed my iPhone to record what was happening. I wasn't prepared for what happened. After recording, I'm going to delete all traces of the video from my computer. I'm hoping this will undo the curse. I don't want to know any more about this video. Watching the original video may curse you like it did me. Gaming is my passion. Nothing can beat it. But the only problem is, I have a gaming console. Until now. Well, I just got a job at Sony a couple of months ago as a graphic editor, game creator. And for job reasons, I was just given a PS3 for game testing. So I had ideas about creating the games which I was relieved about. I couldn't explain how happy I was about it, so I rushed home to set it up. I was feeling better than before, but there was something weird going on. Every single word in the instruction leaflet was scribbled out, only left with the pictures, which I thought was suspicious. But I just left it because it was getting late. So I went to the second-hand store with a sign saying, cheap second-hand games. I couldn't resist, so I strolled inside to see what was there. Believe it or not, the games looked brand new, with nothing wrong with them. But they were second-hand because they said that on the label, which I didn't understand. So I went and picked out 2 games and purchased them. But when I left, the man said to me in a sinister voice, "Hope you don't die playing these games. Mwahahaha." I thought nothing of it, so I just left the store and headed home. The 2 games I bought were Borderlands 2 and Red Dead Redemption. Since it was my day off, I tried out the games I bought. So I placed Borderlands 2 into the console and started a new game. But something wasn't right here. Every single weapon I got from the chest was the rare orange class weapon, which you hardly get, and there wasn't any enemies in the game either. Weird. I thought I would swap disc over because I thought it was just a minor bug that needed resting. So I put Red Dead Redemption into the console. But that was worse. The home screen was bloody and red, and human organs were hanging everywhere. and then all of a sudden a death-defying scream came up at full blast in the background, and it was the scariest thing I had ever seen. So I switched the disc over back again to Borderlands 2. But it was worse than before. Every word in the game was scribbled out, like in the manual, and everything had blood and guts hanging from every place possible, and every enemy was immensely hard to kill. I had enough of this, so I took out the discs. I snapped them into pieces and burnt them in the ashes. When I got back, the manual of the console wasn't there, where I left it. So I looked inside. Nothing was scribbled out anymore but the sentence, "You will suffer," repeated throughout the whole booklet, saying nothing else but that line. But also on the switched off TV was the same sentence, "You will suffer," but with a blood splattered all over the TV screen. Real blood all over the screen. I thought it couldn't get any worse. But then a picture appeared on the TV screen. It was the scariest picture I have ever seen. I couldn't take it any longer, so I picked up the PS3 and chucked it at the TV. The TV sparked out, but still had the message on it, so I collected my stuff and left the house. But as soon as I got out the door, someone standing there with a gun to my head, and he pulled the trigger and bang! My life was over. You know the cheat in Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, which nobody knows what it does? It's on almost all the cheat sites for it, usually under the title of Unknown Cheat. It will say cheat activated, as would any other cheat, but nothing happens. I recently found out what it did, and I was disturbed from it. Never type the cheat in, for the sake of your life. If you don't believe me, that's fine, just do not test it to prove me wrong. You'll regret it. It was last weekend. I typed the cheat in, and it went as expected. Cheat activated message with no effect. But while I was walking up Los Santos, I saw something strange on the sun as it set. It was small. I had to fly up to see it. I typed in the jetpack cheat and flew after it. As I got closer, my body instinctively shook, subconsciously. I feared something, but I didn't even know what it was. My body obviously wanted me to avoid it, but I kept going. I heard CJ began making sobbing sounds, and out of nowhere, he began to shiver. I was scared, and decided not to go. As soon as I landed, CJ was still shivering and making sounds, which proved he was afraid. When I pressed the triangle button to get off the jetpack, he ran on his own, away from the sun. I wasn't moving the controls, and I couldn't control him. He kept running away from the sun. This was one hell of a cheat code to get this disturbing, let alone to not be noticeable, but nobody really threw that close to the object after pressing the cheat in, I suppose. I wanted to know what would happen if I kept going towards it. All of a sudden, the screen said, "Cheat activated," and CJ committed suicide, as if the suicide cheat code was typed in, but I hadn't pressed anything for a while. The weird thing is, if you get busted, CJ wakes up in the police station, and if you get wasted, CJ wakes up in the hospital. This time, he got wasted, but woke up in a very random place. Middle of nowhere by the highway. I had control now, so I typed the jetpack again and headed towards the sun again, and it was still there. Just like last time, everything was going normal until I got close enough. CJ began reacting in ways that wasn't coded in the game. The screen blurred off and on, as if it were having trouble loading something. And my PS2 was making an awful sound, as if it were recoding the game, which wouldn't have surprised me. I'll be honest, I was completely freaked out by this, but I had to know what it was. I kept flying until I reached it. Once I got close enough to see what it was, CJ began bleeding in such a way that the blood poured out like a bucket, which was abnormal for the game. CJ kept breathing heavy, but I kept going. My controller began vibrating, and I didn't have that vibrating power like special controllers do. It kept shaking very fast. The PS2 was producing a weird burning smell, and that's when I was about to quit, afraid for my game, but it was too late anyway. CJ landed himself, looked at the screen, and just stared, his face looking depressed and scared. He was crying, or so it seemed. It convinced me to go on and see what this cheat did. If the game was burning, it's obviously too late to turn it off. So I grabbed the controller, went on the jetpack, and kept going. Things kept getting more real the closer I got. The graphics. The jetpack producing smoke from the fire. The fire looking more real. CJ's blood and sobbing sounds. The trees. The wind. And the sun. The object was just a random black circle, by the way. And I found that a little weird while before the screen began blurring. Everything kept getting realistic and it scared me. When I got up to the hole, CJ made a loud screaming sound that made me jump. He screamed like a little girl, but in a male voice. The game went black as soon as he entered, and I could have swore in the blackness I saw the interior of my friend's house right next door, and I heard CJ breathing as he stood in there, although I could hardly see it. Everything was realistic, no video game graphics. CJ was taller than an average man, and he was in realistic graphics. But I swore that was my friend's house. The game crashed from burning too much, and it went blank. I'm very disturbed, but the questions I had about it were far more interesting. The scarier part is, my friend's carpet was stained from blood, and the room was smoky, as if something was burning. CJ's jetpack. My friend Tom and I were looking for something fun to do. We went to eBay, website on the internet. We searched for some cool games, and the first result was this game. The title said 1080 degrees snowboarding. We were like, we should get that. We got the game, and it will arrive in 1 business day. The game arrived in a raggedy looking box. The box had some writing on it. It was hard to read, but me being a good looker, I knew what it says. The writing goes as follows: 1080 degrees snowboarding. I cut up the box to see a weird box. I opened that box to see the N64 cartridge. We hooked it up to my N64. After a minute of the game loading, the title screen popped up. The first thing Tom and I noticed was that the sky was tinted red, and 666 degrees snowboarding appeared on the screen instead of 1080 degrees snowboarding. We were shocked to see that the snow was a dark reddish color in the same spots, but all of the snow was red. I selected the play option, and Tom and I started playing the game. The loading screen took a long time, until we started playing the actual game. The guy I was controlling was a sort of skinny man. We were up against 12 other players, making the total of the player count 13. 13 is the other devil number. The signal lights were on the screen, 1 second in between each color change. The color change went in this order: red, yellow, and green. When the last color came, a loud sound emitted from the TV speakers. The sound instantly made Tom and I collapse, and we were unconscious for 2 minutes. When we came to our senses, we were in last place, which was 13th place, the other devil number. Everyone was beating up my character, was bleeding profusely from his body. When the other people stopped beating him up, the camera instantly zoomed on his face. The face was so scary. It was very bloody, with some of his skin ripped off. He was murdered for being in 13th place, the devil number. My friend, Tom, was so disgusted by the sight that he went into my bathroom and began to puke. I foolishly continued to play the game. Out of nowhere, a pentagram surrounded my dead character. Then I saw that my character was being reborn. When Tom came back into the same room, Satan covered the screen and said our names, and took us to hell, and then raped us. If you ever want to buy a game called 1080 Degrees Snowboarding on eBay, and it comes in a raggedy box with another box in it, and then the cartridge in the second box, do not buy it. It's a normal day. I'm only on house. I'm get a letter, but this letter was sent by anonymous. In this letter was inserted a CD. I'm run to computer. A CD get a Pokemon game. extension is .die, but it is ignored. That's my big wrong. I'm open this file. All is normal. I'm go to Brock, but music is not normal. This look-alike music from horror game. And this Pokemon's is horror game. Brock is scary. His face is look-a-dead. I'm start a battle, and ignoring its first Brock Pokemon is Ghost Geodude. Next Pokemon is Look-a-New. His all attacks is saying die, run, or you fool. I'm win this game. Now I'm start battle with Pikachu. He defeated me. A game over screen is a bloody screen remake of Pokemon Leaf Green start screen. I'm want end the game, but menu get one options, die. I'm try off computer, but this not effect. At last I'm off computer. From energy. Computer is off. I'm run to bathroom. I'm exit. From bathroom. But my house is in blood. I'm run to main room. In this room, I'm looking a nightmare. A bloody dead Bulbasaur devourer eat my family. I'm run, but too late. Bulbasaur eat me. I'm exit from normal sleep. I'm go to computer, but computer don't get a CD with Pokemon. That's tomorrow. I'm back from school. I thought, that's normal day. But no. This nightmare is happening in real. But I'm now run from Bulbasaur teeth. I'm returned to house at next day. My family is lived. I go to my room. But I'm looked a Bulbasaur devourer image in my computer wallpaper. I'm saying this to my family. But my family looked at my normal wallpaper. Only me can looked this scary wallpaper. I'm restart computer, but that's no effect. I'm try edit a wallpaper, but options is blocked. I'm looked that wallpaper on all computer. Next day, a wallpaper is now invading my TV. In this day, dead my sister. Next day, dead my dad. Next day, my mom, and last day, puppy. All people who seeing me, dead, and next day, I'm delete a CD with Pokemon.die, and all people's animals on more lived. A curse is dead. All bad power is defeated. Or no. And that's it for the Crappypastas. I hope you enjoyed laughing at them. Like I said, these are genuine attempts at a scary story, so keeps you thinking about some of the talent behind the budding minds of the creepypasta community. Again, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you liked the video, go ahead, feel free to leave a like if you want to. Dislike it, go ahead, leave a dislike. If you are really interested, you can leave a comment, tell me your thoughts, maybe ideas for a future video, maybe a game you want to see me play, who knows, anything you want to fucking say. If you want to talk about how you're a vegetable, you can go ahead and talk about how you're a vegetable. I don't give a shit. Everybody have a good day, and I'll see you next time.